Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Lumify and this afternoon's presentation on AI strategy for leaders. And I suppose a useful subtitle for this might be AI before you buy. Some of the things that you need to think about before jumping in. And what I want to do is go through some central ideas to probably pose more questions than give answers. And I think if you came here for answers, it's going to be the wrong hour to sit through. I'll set up some questions and considerations that you want to keep in mind as you move forward. So AI strategy for leaders, what you need to know before you invest. Hopefully that's the webinar that you expected this afternoon. I'm in Melbourne, so it is afternoon. Don't know where you are. Let me go through some introduction to myself, to the topics, and then we'll get underway covering some of those ideas that I think are quite important to address. My name is Iain Morrison. I have a master's in kind of in IT. I wrote a query using SQL Server 6.5 back in 1995. I had 9 months to research a query and it eventually ran, and I got a master's, and luckily I get to use aspects of it pretty much every week. It was broadly around prediction, and I suppose maybe an early attempt at a bit of artificial intelligence, an early attempt on my part anyway. I got to use that in banking and eventually training and teaching courses around SQL Server. I was an accountant for a short period of time, and I think that was the data side of that I was interested in. But generally, I'm interested in all things data, AI, whether it's getting the data, looking after it, putting it to use, that sort of thing. I've got an interest across a wide variety of products as well, albeit mainly around Azure data, the Azure data platform, but I'm certified in the Google Cloud Platform as well. And I use other tools like Databricks and Jupyter notepads and all sorts of other environments as well from day to day and week to week. I teach courses around data analytics and data science. So I work here at Lumify Work as a technical instructor. And please reach out to Lumify Work, but also see if you can find me on LinkedIn as well. Okay. Probably enough about me. Let's get into the topics that I'd like to look at. So setting the scene for what we're going to cover, I want to talk about this idea of an AI imperative and just try to get to the essence of what that's talking about and maybe what that might mean for us. I want to look at strategic considerations before you invest. So thinking at quite a high level about some main ideas, if I use the word concerns, I don't necessarily mean that in a negative way, but important issues that we should think about and address. Building the right capabilities. The right capability for using AI isn't to have a ChatGPT license. The right capability is more fundamental than that, and actually more far-reaching than something simple. One thing. It's a lot of individual components. So I want to look at some of the main ideas there, building the right capabilities. Operationalizing and scaling AI. We've got it doing what it's roughly supposed to do. How do we switch that on at scale? How do we engage our entire enterprise in using very functional, very appropriate tools? That only comes on the back of some of the other earlier considerations. Leadership and culture. A theme I think you'll pick up on throughout this very short presentation is that I'm interested in people. That this area, what AI, however vast we think of that, is about people. It's about co-piloting our people, assisting our people, enabling and empowering people to be better, to have more time, to be able to use their mind, their skill to make a difference, being supported by the technology. And as a cultural value, I would like to see that sort of emphasis enforced. So we'll think about leadership and culture towards the end of this. Yeah, that's the plan just for the next little while.